that the Habitat Division doesn't need to come to look at that glass before you empty it and put it in the dishwasher. That's almost how much idiocy there is in that bill. I am against it.
Thank you. Mr. Sheldon.
Yes, absolutely no on one. I think that we're being regulated too much. Too many things are coming upon us that, you know, we can't do this, we can't do that. You know, this is a free nation. This is Alaska. We have an opportunity in this state to really build our infrastructure. We have opportunities beyond our imagination, yet what are we? We're being governed by our government. We're governed by our state. We only own 1% of the land in this state. I think it's time that we turn that back around and put the power back in the people's hands, and where I think it's important to have, and not have the state and federal government regulate us to death. So I say absolutely no on one. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Halatku.
I agree with my left hand, because we don't need somebody manage what to do, how to do. We can do ourselves. And also the government is too much on the top of us, on the business, on a lot of things. They protect the huge corporation, they kill our small business. When these people, they borrow money from the bank to support their family. And we have a huge problem in Alaska. We need to take care of this, and we need to take care of the low middle class, and education for me is very important, and I'll take care of this.
Thank you. Mr. Hikas.
I'm just going to keep it short. I'm going to vote no on one. There's too many rules and regulations now. They need to be cut down. Mr. Trump's doing a wonderful job on cutting down rules and regulation, and actually things are starting to move along really well. So just leave it in the hands of the state legislature. No, I didn't say that. Leave it up to the governor to appoint the projects that needed to be done and how it should be done, and take away some of the regulations we already have now, stifling this great state that we have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We will give each candidate 2 minutes to give closing remarks. We'll start with Mr. Treadwell.
I want to thank you for being here today, and I want to thank many people in Fairbanks who had called me and encouraged me to run. And I'm running because we believe we need to have a governor with experience. I've been asked, what's the difference between just having a record and not having a record? Well, if you look at the battles we've had in the interior, whether it's federal government, I have a record of having built the agenda for Alaska, and I've been in those battles for 40 years. If it was getting missile defense, I was here convening people to get us out of the treaty that prevented us from having missile defense, and we had billions of dollars worth of investment as a result. When it came to working with everybody across the state, labor unions, business leaders, oil companies, to fix oil taxes, I was there and part of the team. When it's come to having a strong university, I was chair of the U.S. Arctic Research Commission and helped get the funding that was needed to do things. And as we get into this situation of how do we get more fish back in the copper and get more dip netting at Chitna, it is going to require research to understand what's happening. I can work with the university. I'm running because Alaska doesn't keep its promises, and I want us to keep our promises, for gosh sakes. We're not keeping our promise to the people on the PFD. We're not keeping our promises to investors around the world. We need to attract to invest billions of dollars here for the jobs we need. And we're not keeping our promises to the people on protecting them from crime. Crime hasn't been mentioned, but it's a huge business issue. Domestic violence, sexual assault hasn't been mentioned, but it's a huge issue for families of all stripes. And until you have a governor with experience who knows how to bring people together, I'm a businessman who has built teams, built things out of nothing, because you bring collaboration together to make things happen. And that's why I'm running. I respectfully ask for your vote. I love being in Fairbanks. We'll be at the fair much of this week. I look forward to individual conversations. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Sheldon.
I'm running for governor. I was sitting home watching the Mariners one day, and I seen old Governor Walker there veto our permanent fund money away. I was very, very upset about it. You know, the reserve account's got $18.7 billion in it. Guess whose money that is? That's the people's money. What I would like to do as governor of Alaska is I would like to inflation-proof the $18.7 billion, pull about $2 to $3 billion out of there because it's a volatile account. So if the stock market was to crash, we'd have $2 to $3 million, $1 billion there to protect it. $15 billion would go to the people as a permanent fund. You divide that by 700,000 people, you're going to get about a $25,000 check per person. We need to clear that account. Now the way the state's going to collect their money is we're going to tax the oil companies. We're only getting, what, 12 cents on the dollar, like I said before? Look what Norway is getting. They're working their way up to $1 trillion. Why? It's because they negotiated contracts with them that are sound, tough contracts. The state of Alaska is not doing it. We dropped ACES and what happened to us? We lost billions and billions of dollars. We should not be at $65 billion right now. We should be at $650 billion. So we've dropped the ball. We need to pick it back up. We need a governor that's going to fight hard for it. You know, I'm a Tlingit. I'm a warrior. Our tribe, we rode clear down to Washington and Oregon and California. We fought our other tribal governments. I'm not a marshmallow. I'm a warrior. I'm going to fight for the state, stand up for the people, get the money back into the people's hands, get privatization back in the people's hands. I mean, this state is totally goofed up. We're going to have to take each section of the problems that we're having in this state and fix them one at a time. After 4 years of our administration, we'll set the precedents. If I become governor again the next 4 years, we'll implement it and get it to work for the state and the people of this great nation, the last frontier. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Halatku.
God bless everybody first time. My name is Erika Hlatko. I ran 2006 for governor in 2010. And this is the last time, if I win or not. I want to protect first the unions from Alaska. I want to help them. Next year I got my project. I'm also master engineer and production and design engineer. I have my project. Next year I got 300,000 jobs. Nobody don't know what I want to do. I want to protect the forest. I will go to Washington State, Washington DC. I will stick my fist on the table. I need money to protect our forest. Our forests come down every day by spruce beetle. And when the forest is gone, the next generation, they have no more oxygen. I want to protect the unions, the military. I want to change the system in Alaska. Resident Alaska after 5 years. Many people come from another states, another place, only for PFD. I knew a lot of people, they have no jobs. They don't work. They got 7, 8 people. They stay in food stamps. They stay on office when only pay for them. I want to fix this forever. They can go work. They don't want to work because the government support them and their kids. They give house free, food stamps, money for gas. That is ridiculous. And if you look, they drove the most expensive trucks and cars, over $50,000, and they use the food stamps. I don't like it. And I will fix this forever because they come after 1 year, they take your family, the PFD. I don't know how much will be survive this, but I want to fix it. And also the criminals, they go, never come back in Alaska. Doesn't matter if they born here or they have family here. Thank you much for paying attention.
Thank you. Mr. Heikes.
Well, thanks for putting up with me. I'm sitting with the brightest minds I believe that we have in the state, and Mr. Dunleavy has a sign standing tall for Alaska on my website. It says, "Of the people, by the people, and for the people." Gettysburg Address by Lincoln. And I am not one of the little guys. Okay, I despise that saying, because as Americans we're all equal. We all have our own capabilities and certain talents to do what we want to do. I like to entertain, I like to have fun, but I'm also very serious about what goes on in Alaska, and I'm very serious about abortion, about getting it out of our state. And Mr. Dunleavy and I talked about it, and we can get rid of abortion, or Mr. Sheldon and I talked about it. The governor can write an order stopping abortion in Alaska, and I think that is the greatest, pivotal thing that would change this country around. That and your votes to get some people in there that are really dedicated to the state. So I'm here because God sent me on a mission in 2006. I was there with Sarah Palin. America was there. There was a few other of us running, and I've been learning about the people. I learn about what I care about, but I know what God cares about. He cares about life. Our schools have no life, and the children are coming out with whatever doctrine they're taught in their schools. That needs to change. It needs to be a pro-life thing. You need to nail the 10 Commandments back on the courthouse, stick them on there, and if the ACLU comes around, you need to prosecute them according to the RICO statute laws. You need to get that organization done and buried and get it out of the state of Alaska, along with the EPA. I mean, I'm so fed up with the EPA, you can't believe it. So there's a lot of federal bureaucracies that need to go that are overseeing the state. It should be turned back over to the governor and to the legislature. We make up our own mind about how the state is run.
Thank you. Mr. Dunleavy.
Well, thank you, and thanks for being here. Again, appreciate the folks taking time off from work to listen to us up here. We have incredible opportunity in the state of Alaska, and that's what I want to leave you with. We have more resources than just about any other place on the planet. We have 1/7 of the country's timber reserves in the state of Alaska that we do nothing with at this point. We have unbelievable amounts of gold, silver, zinc, lead, graphite finds, commercial graphite finds up I know, probably be the only one in the country that we have. Our geographic location has not been harnessed in the past, and it will be in the future, as was mentioned, as the polar areas thaw out and we have shipping lanes that will be growing. We just have so much going for us at this point. We're the envy of many states and many countries in the world. But what's happened the last 4 years is we've fallen on hard times, to be honest with you. We have the highest crime rate in the country. We have the highest unemployment in the country. We have little investment coming to Alaska. We have the worst educational outcomes in the country. This is a classic case of mismanagement the past 4 years. And you have to ask yourself, do you want another 4 years like this? Opportunity is passing us by at this point. Lower 48 is humming, it's booming. Unemployment rate down in the lower 48 is somewhere in the neighborhood of 3%. Hawaii is at 2%. Colorado's at 2.4%. New Hampshire's at 2.6%. We get our act together with the right leadership and right policies, we're going to turn this state around pretty quick. You will be the beneficiaries of that. The people of Alaska will be the beneficiaries of that. We can't go on with what we have here the last 4 years. I think we all know that. I was a school superintendent. I managed large organizations, multifaceted, complex systems in the neighborhood of $60 million to $200 million. I was the president of the Madison Borough School District, and at the time we made that one of the most innovative school districts in the state of Alaska. I know how to run big organizations. I've been in the Senate, I understand how the system works, and I can tell you this, with our resources, with the right policies, and with the right leadership, we'll put the last 4 years behind us, and the future of Alaska is going to be incredible, folks. Thank you. Oh, and don't forget to vote for Mike Dunleavy.
There you go.
August 21st. Where am I pouring out, actually?
Thank you. To conclude, I want to thank you for joining us today to learn about the candidates for governor. August 21st is the primary election, so we encourage you to cast your vote. Please see the political forum calendar on your table. The primary lieutenant governor's forum will be next Wednesday, August 15th, from noon to 1:30 p.m. here at the Carlson Center. Thank you for coming, and please join me in a final round of applause for our candidates.
You're on live because your video wasn't. It was
live right now?
Yeah, you're on live.
Well, we had a really good meeting today. I think we gave all the points that were necessary. I think it was well covered. I believe the state of Alaska needs to stand by its people. We need to bring business back to the people's hands, ownership in the people's hands. and downsize government. We've got a great plan for the state, and we are going to move forward and win this election on August 21st. Thank you very much for tuning in. Talk to you later.
Thank you, sir.